What's up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video where we went on an epic run with this team right here of Empoleon, Drifblim, and Toxicroak in the Hisuian Cup. And sometimes you just go on a run with a team. This isn't like a super spicy team. Oh, and here's a great first battle to look at, because a lot of people ask with this team, what the heck do you do with a Gastrodon lead? This is how I typically play it. I'll overfarm a little bit, and then I'll just throw my Hydro Cannon, which usually they end up shielding. This trainer doesn't shield, which caught me off guard. I sneak in the Waterfall. I thought about shielding, but I wasn't sure if that Waterfall would KO from that range. I think it probably would, looking at it, but I didn't want to risk shielding and not having it KO, so I decided to just let it go, Hex down. And I'm hoping, because my Toxicroak in back avoids the Gastrodon, it's going to have a lot of play. So I actually throw in Icy Wind. He lets it go. I swap in Tox, and he's going to throw a Wild Charge here, and I'm pretty sure this counter, that goes through will KO, and it does. And now we're in a terrific position. So what started off as a really tough lead for us, we were able to manage pretty well, and now our Toxicroak has a terrific matchup here in back against Qwilfish, Hisuian Qwilfish. A normal Qwilfish would be a little bit worse because the Aqua Tails would be same type attack bonus, and they'd be coming out faster with Poison Sting. But because it's Poison Jab, non-stab Aqua Tail, this becomes a much better matchup for Toxicroak. We're also hitting for neutral damage with those counters, so Toxicroak able to take down Hisuian Qwilfish, and we still had our Drifblim fairly healthy, roaming in the back. So as I was saying earlier, this team isn't like super spicy or anything. These are three very common picks in the Hisuian Cup, but it has performed really well for me. And it's balanced, right? It's not a team where you necessarily have to lure something out, because it's flexible. So like, it's not like I'm double weak to Bastiodon in the back and I have to lure it out with something. I can stay in most leads unless I see like a fighter, of course. That's what I have to swap out of. Or electric types can be tricky. I am double weak to electric, I guess. But I do like the flexibility where I don't necessarily have to swap out of most things. So this is a tricky matchup here. If you've been watching my Twitch streams lately, I hate seeing Cresselia with Empoleon, because like, I feel like this should be a good matchup for me. I'm a steel type. They're a psychic type, except with this Grass Knot, dude. 2 Grass Knots KO, so you have to shield here. You can't win the zeros. So you're forced to go down a shield in this matchup if you want to win switch. Cress is going to commit a shield as well. And I'm like, you know what? I'm okay just farming down, kind of like I did last game, coming out with energy advantage. I go for a Hex down here. I get the Hex down, so I get a 3 Hex head start. In comes Emp. I'm like, okay, this is looking pretty favorable for me right now. Emp's at 3 waterfalls, shields the Shadow Ball correctly. 5, 6. So they're at 6. So they're 4 off their next move with Empoleon. 1. I throw right away because I was a little bit weary of the catch. They're 2 off. They realize they're not going to get it, and they swap. And this is a little bit sketchy. I'm a little bit concerned at this point, because my Drifblim is super low, so I actually Icy Wind it. And I catch a Body Slam. What I'm hoping is a Body Slam on my Tox. Oh, man. So what looked for a moment to be a kind of uncomfortable position, or able to pull out and win in the end. So favorable alignment for us, you could say, but kind of tricky, right? Because if we had one switch, it would have been pretty straightforward, but we weren't able to win switch against Cress. All right, Emp versus Drift. I'm sure you guys see this matchup all the time. They swap in Emp, and this is also uncomfortable, right? Because I know it's a good matchup for my Tox, but like, I'm gonna have to, now my Tox, oh, they shield, interesting. So I get the shield advantage, and I'm like, you know, if I commit a shield myself, right, I'm just gonna be locked against the Drifblim anyway, so I'm not sure I even want to commit that shield. You know, I think I should have thrown my move here. I think I should have thrown my Hydro Cannon, because now I'm super low and I'm at risk of getting farmed down. In comes a Lucario. But I do have 2 Hydros, and luckily I do survive that counter that went through. So my Emp still has a move banked, and at this point, I feel like my only lose con would be letting a Shadow Ball through. So even though I know he's likely going to bait Icy Wind, I still elect to shield anyway. I get a shield back. CMP tie. We do have a rank 1 Drifblim, so we're usually going to lose CMP in the mirror. He might actually live this Icy Wind after 2 debuffs. I'm not sure. No, doesn't live it. Lucario's going to have to unload a Shadow Ball to take us out. So now the only way we lose is if we lag. We should have this because we have a move banked. And Empoleon with minimal HP going to be able to close this one out. Always nice when you get those wins right at the very end. And I should have mentioned at the start of this video, it is a longer one, so feel free to pause, grab a snack, and sit back and enjoy a longer video. Empoleon versus Torterra. Yikes, this is not good. I swap immediately into Drift. I'm met by Drapion with Bite. He's getting completely hard countered right now. Get off my Icy Wind right away, hoping maybe I can get to a second Icy Wind. And looks like Drift was about to get to a second Icy Wind, so this is a really questionable decision to commit a shield there. I'm not sure why I would commit a shield, but let's see. Oh, I guess that's why. Because we win switch. In comes Torterra. Now we got Tox on Torterra. Throw the Mud Bob. This is resisted. But Torterra's pretty squish, so I get a shield anyway. And it's a CMP tie. And this is probably a Sand Tomb. But it is super effective, so I figure I shield. Going for a full farm down. Can we get it? We can. Oh, and the Bite snipes my Tox. So we were within 1 bite range, unfortunately. So the Bite is going to register before our Tox is able to get off the charge move. So very unfortunate there. If our Tox could have lived 1 bite, we win that game, but very unfortunate. If I had just let the Drifblim go waterfall down, save both shields for Tox, maybe we're able to win that game. So questionable play on the Drifblim shield on my part. Empoleon Mirror. I play this different like every single time. Sometimes I get really aggressive and like I'll land the Hydro and then I'll try and snipe with a counter. But now he just reached his second, so this will be a CMP tie here. We lose CMP, so because of that, I'm going to let it go. It's not worth committing a shield, in my opinion, here. Hex. Oh, and he switch locks his Lucario. And this, I didn't think was enough for a Shadow Ball, but it was a close combat, which still is going to hurt. What's going to come in? It is Froslass. The reason I'm sludge bombing the ghost type here is because it does more raw damage than the Mud Bomb. So when you're only going to get to 1 move, it's the right play. And at this point, I'm just going to completely hex this thing down. I've got both my shields. If I throw my moves, all I'm doing is giving him more chance to like sneak in energy. He has to get to 3 avalanches to beat me. So I'm just going to commit to full fast move down. And we're able to get it. And then we hex down the Emp. So that's a situation when I do like coaching sessions. I could see a lot of people losing that because they feel like they've got all this energy. They've got to start throwing their energy. But as you saw, really no reason to throw any energy there. Just committing to a full hex down since I still had both my shields. All right, terrific lead for us. In comes Prinplup, which is pretty dang cool. I remember this game. I was trying to remember what moveset it has. So Bubble, Hydro Pump, Icy Wind. Typically the moveset could also possess Bubble Beam. And I'm like, I don't want to get baited by an Icy Wind, so I let it go. They land the Hydro. And then silly me commits to a farm down when now I have to shield a dang Icy Wind. So if I just shielded the first one, it would have been a lot better for me. I'm getting ready to save my Hydro, and this works out really well for me. Yeah, I bait the Icy Wind, and I end up catching it, or catching the Togekiss with it. So here I want to overfarm because I want energy to threaten the Emp. I don't want Emp to be able to farm me down before I can at least get off a move. Wasn't sure if I would live that next waterfall, so I just go for an Icy Wind here. And opponent, well aware, is actually able to call it, and now still has both shields, has a ton of energy. I attempt to catch, and this madman still is over farming. He's done like 10 waterfalls, and he's still over farming. I am able to get both shields here, but honestly, this doesn't even matter. This all comes down to whether I can live the debuffed Drill Peck plus a few waterfalls. So I shield the first one. I know he's going to get off 2, right? So I've got to shield one of them. And because of that debuff, I am able to live the Drill Peck and the waterfall. Would have been really dang close if that Empoleon wasn't debuffed. Really dang close. Electrode. So one of the worst leads you can see with this team is Hizui and Electrode. We swap in our Drifblim because we do have that Icy Wind to threaten it. And if he debuffs himself, right, like he's immediately going to be in like Icy Wind range since his defense is double debuffed. So we throw our Icy Wind to get a shield. And yeah, this is still really rough for Drifblim because we're going to get outpaced here, so he can simply 2-shield, take us out with a Wild Charge if he wants. But he is double debuffed, keep in mind, so like our Tox can farm him down now, and the Wild Charge isn't going to be lethal. So he might actually give up Switch. Let's see what he decides to do. He gives up Switch. Is this a CC? Oh, God, yeah. There's no way we win this, do we? No. Damn. Hey, made it kind of close. Not really. Yeah, tough team comp there. Not sure what realistically we could have done against that team comp, because even if we swapped the Tox instead, we're just met by the Gallade. So I'm not sure we could have done too much there. Emp into Frost, good lead for us. This is our best Froslass matchup. A lot of teams are double weak to Emp with Froslass in the lead because they know they can potentially get shield advantage here. So he actually baits me with the Crunch, very nicely done. I overfarm a bit before the next move. And they let it go. What's going to come in? Electrode. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to swap in my only answer and then allow this Electrode to sweep me. So I'm just conceding my Empoleon here. Just going to allow him to take me out. And this way I can get my Tox onto the Electrode. He does Wild Charge. And I'm definitely going to shield this, I would think. Because he's probably going to dip out now. And this is terrific. Because even though we're down a shield, we're going to be able to leave this matchup with a ton of energy. It's such a dominant matchup for Drifblim. I typically like to Icy Wind right away. And then I see if they have Water Pulse. And if they do, I can't quite farm all the way down. But if they had like Earth Powered me, I usually just farm all the way down. I'm like, oh, who cares if I get hit by another Earth Power? So if I undercharge a little bit, even if this is a Water Pulse, it won't KO me. I'm going to come out with a ton of energy. Icy Wind coming out right away. He's going to have to throw a Wild Charge here since I have 2. And nope. Either he didn't have it or he was going for an overfarm. And Icy Wind going to knock out from there. GG. G to the G. Next opponent, Luxray. So once again, electric types are tough leads for this team, but because Luxray is so glassy, it's actually not that bad. And Empoleon can just straight up win the 2s, I believe. Even if they double bait you, I don't think Luxray is going to get to 3 moves here. Could be wrong, but I wouldn't think it gets to 3 moves. We shield the Wild Charge, perfect, and they don't even live the next waterfall. And like sometimes, right, it might be better to preserve your Emp for later. This is a situation, right play is definitely just letting it go down. We've got a Drifblim that can completely wall Tox. And what's in back? It's a Froslass. And Froslass actually surrenders. Don't think it was 100% over there. Probably was over. But Froslass definitely trouble for our back line. So opponent might have had a chance. Emp into Frost, Drifblim responding to Gastro, just a very dominant matchup here, as we know. Gonna Icy Wind. Poor Gastrodon, the little snail. Just cannot touch Drifblim. Water Pulse will chunk, so it's not completely walled. But yeah, it's gonna overfarm a bunch here. Gonna undercharge a little bit so I can come out with as much energy as possible. I think this is just a body slam, right? Oh no, another Water Pulse. But actually that's better in a sense, because it's less farm for Froslass. Go for the Shadow Ball. Gets the shield. So basically we're back where we started, but I'm up a shield now. And I still have my favorable alignment. Come in with Emp. Gonna respect the Shadow Ball here. It's a Crunch. A lot of people are running Crunch in this meta. Helps a little bit against Emp, I guess. You get there a little bit quicker. And now I'm thinking he's probably not running Crunch Shadow Ball. So I let the Crunch go. And there's a Tox, and now we're in a good spot because this Drill Peck's going to do a lot. To the point where we can probably counter it down. Tox does reach a Mud Bomb, but I do know I can take one, even though it does quite a lot, like 60%. Maybe even more than that. But I thought about it for a brief moment. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta shield this. But I'm like, no, because I know I can live it, and an Avalanche from a Froslass would do even more. At least I would think so, able to get the win. Once again, and this team, man, just racking up the wins in the Go Battle League. It is a 17-3 overall run, and I believe those were the first 2 sets, which were both 4-1. So back-to-back 4-1s, 8-2 overall. And we're on to the next set. Just keep on going. Emp into Drift. And this is kind of like helpful, right? It's not the most crazy team we're using. Pretty standard Hisuian Cup, but probably helpful because I'm sure you guys see a lot of these same matchups in your games. So we throw our Hydro right away. It's 5-5-5 for Empoleon's Hydros. It's 5-5-4 for Drifblim to get to Shadow Ball. So once again, we CMP tie. I get both shields. Thought about it for a sec. Gonna shield, so he shouldn't get to another. And he actually... Oh, and Rise makes the wrong swap. Rise makes the wrong swap, and now Drifblim shields down. Is gonna get Shadow Ball. A critical mistake. A critical mistake from Rise. But we're not gonna give up yet, because we know we can farm this guy down before he gets to anything. So it's not over till it's over. In comes Drift, and I'm like, okay, I can take this out with a Sludge from here, since he was dry. And what's going to be in back? It's a Bastiodon. Let's go. 1000 IQ, big brain, swapping the Drifblim into the Lucario. Very lucky. Would have been fine, though, if I was quick on the Tox Swap. I think if you're quick enough, Lucario doesn't get to the Shadow Ball. But if I was a little bit slow and I swapped the Tox and the Lucario reached the Shadow Ball, I lose that game for sure. So it all worked out. It all worked out. Searching for that next opponent. And you see, like, you'll see our elo steadily climb right from where we started this video. We started in like the low 3000s. We're already at 3122. Abomasnow. I consider this actually a solid matchup for Empoleon. Because the Powder Snows hardly do anything, you are able to take an Energy Ball. And then we see the Gastrodon swap in. And once again, this is just so dominant for Drifblim. I love being the Drifblim here. Drifblim has always been one of my favorite Pokemon just because it like completely hard walls a lot of things. A lot of like fighters. In Ultra League, I loved it because it hard walled Venusaur and Escavalier. Which Venusaur is not as common anymore, but it used to be super common. And here's a situation, right, where they don't have Water Pulse, so I'm just going to completely hex this guy down. I know I'm going over 100 energy, but might as well, right? Gonna throw that Shadow Ball right away. Bang. And now that he let it go through, I could just Icy Wind. Shields the Icy Wind. I try to snipe. Try to snipe with Tox so he doesn't just farm me down. And then there's a Lucario. Wow. Just completely hard countered in the back. The only way our opponent can possibly win that game is if he wins the lead with Abomasnow, which I just don't know if he can do. Emp into Frost. See this matchup quite a bit. This time they're running Shadow Ball, and you do want to shield the Shadow Ball, right? Because it does quite a bit. We throw on CMP here. Not sure if our opponent's going to want to shield or not. They let it go. Do they come back in with Froslass here? They do. And this is pretty good for me, right? Because I can get off this Mud Bomb, which probably just about KOs from here after all those counters. So they're forced to shield. And they can't even farm me down completely. So I'm willing to let this go. I'm actually probably going to throw my Hydro because I know he had a ton of energy. And I kind of want to just get rid of this. I get rid of it and hard counter and back. Jeez Louise. The team, guys, the team is too OP. And FP Sticks came into my chat today and said he's been running this team and having some success with it too. So I do encourage it. I mean, he called it my team. I don't even know if we can say it's my team because it's like 3 of the most common Mons you see in this meta. So I don't know if we can call it my team, but I'll take it. I'll take the... So this time we decide to aggressively swap Trode, or Toxicroak into Trode, because last time I swapped Drifblim, it was just like too much. I'm swapping in something that still does bad. And because he was a little slow, we actually get to a second Mud Bomb here, which is massive. So we actually get a shield advantage, and we're going to completely hex this down. I debate whether I want to shield the Water Pulse, and I really should have. I should have, because you're going to see what ends up happening here is I shield because I wasn't keeping track of energy, and it's a freaking body slam. So if I had just shielded that Water Pulse, I'd still be super healthy. In comes Trode, but we're already at 2 Icy Winds, so we're going to be able to get to 3 before he can get to 2. But I actually elect to go for the Shadow Ball here because it does more raw damage. And now he's forced to throw. I'm going to let this go. Empoleon up a shield, and it's a Cress. And, oh my gosh, I remember this now. Oh, this is so bad. I remember this now. I think we're in a good spot, but I didn't think I could waterfall down. I did not think I could waterfall down the Electrode before it got to a move. So I'm trying to manage my energy here, get as much as possible. And unfortunately, we're just barely unable to waterfall down the Cresselia. Let's see, how much energy did that Electrode have? Try and make this as quick as possible just to see if I threw that game or if I did have to like commit to a farm down. Bubble Wrapper. So in the beginning, 1, 2, 2. Only 2. That's not as much as I thought. And then here, 3, 4. Oh no, just 3, right? 5. Okay, so he's at 5. So he's at 1 wild charge. 6, 7. Okay. So he's 3 Thunder Shocks away. Oh, wow. So you know what? Assuming Empoleon wins CMP, I think I actually win that game. Because if I'm 2 waterfalls away from a Drill Peck, I win CMP. So hopefully this isn't too much on the recording when I look this up. But Empoleon compared to Electrode, Hisuian. Oh, man. I do have a rank 1 Empoleon, so it looks like if he has an attack-weighted Electrode, he wins CMP. But if he has a high rank Electrode, I would have won CMP. So that's an example where just keeping track of your counts is so valuable and could have made the difference in that game. I don't know what happened here. Opponent's having a bad day, trying to tank. Free win. We'll take it. And that is a 4-1 set. So 3 consecutive 4-1 sets. Apologies here as we skip on. Getting rid of some items. And we're on to the final set of the video. Empoleon into Frost. Really good matchup. They swap Lucario. I swap Tox. Made the right swap this time. And they don't even get off the Shadow Ball because we were pretty quick. Looks like Lucario can only survive 6 counters. The 7 counters KO. So as long as you don't give him a 2 counter head start, he shouldn't get to Shadow Ball, it seems. And now we got all this energy to make this uncomfortable for Froslass. And it was CMP. So this game literally going as perfect as we could ask. And just watch. It's probably going to be like a Toxic Rope. No, they're already done. Just a hard counter game for them. So, pretty tough. Enjoying some lime cucumber. Gatorade Zero. I've heard it's a controversial flavor, so let me know in the comments if you like this this Gatorade flavor. So many Froslass leads, dude, and that's like what happens sometimes. Sometimes you read that you're seeing a lot of like certain things in the meta. You try and come up with a team that aligns well against it, and that's what happened on this day. Just seeing a lot of Froslass leads where Empoleon can really thrive. This trainer actually committing a shield. Gonna land the crunch on us. I'm going to get off my Hydro here just to play it safe. Don't want to allow Frost to get to another move. They let it go. What's going to come in? A Drapion. And I know Drapion can't farm us down, and it's important that I get my Toxicroak on it, so I'm willing to just let my Empoleon go here. Toxicroak is going to do very well against Drapion. Just maintaining alignment, and bang, bang, boogie, dude. Hard countered him back. And you could see the Toxicroak, like, debating whether he wanted to play it out or not, because the counter started kind of slowing, and they top left. Pretty much as simple as win switch, win game. Drifblim, like we talked about. Toxicroak, another one, just really hard punish to Toxicroak. As well as Gastrodon and Escavalier. Don't see like Escavalier in this meta, but for other metas, pretty hard punish to a lot of Psychic types as well, like Defense Deoxys, Medicham. Terrific lead here. And the good thing about this team is you don't even necessarily need to switch when they switch, because Emp and Tox can handle Basti, but I decided to switch here since my Toxicroak does a little bit better against Drapion than Empoleon would. This is also a little bit uncomfortable for Tox because 2 Aqua Tails from Shadow plus the Poison Stings is going to take out Tox. So you are going to have to commit shields in this matchup. And then, yeah, I actually am going to have to double shield here to maintain switch, because I can't afford to get my Drifblim onto that Bastiodon, right? Got to keep switch. But fortunately, we should be fine, because I just played safe, get the last shield. Really no reason to bait there, in my opinion. Come in Drifblim. I know he's going to try and catch the Icy Wind here, but I get the refund. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because if I debuff him, like, it's the same result. I just take out Basti and I come out with a Hydro for the Togekiss. So the refund really didn't matter in this situation. Commit to the waterfall down, and Basti is going to top left. And if you enjoy seeing Bastiodons being beaten, make sure to stay tuned for my Shadow Hippowdon video later this week. We're able to flex on some Bastiodons at a good time. Battle is starting. Mr. Yurkowski, terrific battler from Chile. Good lead for us. In comes Amp. I do like throwing my Mud Bomb here just because I don't want to have to go down a shield. Oh, what am I doing? Oh. Okay, he shielded anyway. And here, I actually elect to let it go. And the reason is, I don't want to go down shields, because I know that Gliscor has the opportunity to Earthquake my Empoleon if it gets enough energy. I do commit a shield there to preserve some health, and this actually works out even better, because my Drifblim does not want to see Bibs. Bibarel hard walls Drifblim. So this actually works out really well. I get my Empoleon with energy against Bibarel, and now we're in a pretty comfortable spot. I can even just let this go, and my Drifblim should be able to beat Gliscor straight up. I just go for the Icy Wind right away. And this way I can definitely let that first Night Slash go through, since it's debuffed. Should do less than half. And opponent surrenders, since he was approaching Icy Wind range there and knew he would have needed 2 more Night Slashes to get us. So that was G to the G to Mr. Yurkowski, who I battled quite a few times now. Really amazing battler. We always have great matches. Next opponent. All right, finally. Comments, you win. A tough lead. Rise, you're winning every single lead. This is not an impressive winning streak. I know, Chad, I know. So we got a bad lead. We'll see if we can come back from it. Opponent's staying in the Tox Mirror, so that's already a good sign for us. Seems like they don't have an obvious answer to Tox. I lose CMP here. I am going to shield because this way I can get shields down. And now this becomes a really comfortable hex down for my Drifblim. Versus if I had let it go before, he probably would have swapped out to avoid getting hexed down. And now he gives up switch. Still not over, right? It depends on what's in back. I'm just going to throw here. Maybe I could have done one more there. But just going to throw right away. Get rid of it. What's going to come in? Munchie Boy. Munchie Boy comes in, and I have a little bit of energy on Drift, and I was able to chip it with some waterfalls, so this is not over. Even though I would consider this a good matchup for Munchie, especially when shields are up, when shields are down, he doesn't have any charge moves that threaten Drift. I'm aware he's going to try and catch on Tox at some point, so I just am careful with my energy. And now I have almost 2 Icy Winds here. And obviously a Body Slam is not going to do nearly enough. And we actually do flex a little with the Shadow Ball on Munchie Boy. We're feeling a little mean today. And we're taking out our anger on Munchlax. I'm sorry, Munchlax, you didn't deserve it. But we end with a 5-0 to cap a 17-3 run in the Hisuian Cup. And have some fun along with it. Longer video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy this content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below. All comments are appreciated very much. And all that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.